Welcome aboard Narrowboat Kate. I'm Trevor Allen, and this isn't just a boat, it's the start of a brand new full-time life on the water. I'm swapping land for the open canal. I invite you to join me as I prepare for this unconventional journey and discover the sights and stories that await. In this video I'm upgrading my coffee game with an exciting new coffee machine unboxing and setup. But the coffee journey doesn't stop there. I also show you how I use my raw coffee bean roaster to get the perfect roast here on my tiny home on the water. So out goes the instant coffee and in comes the raw beans, roaster and my new machine. I would like to say at this stage that any products that I show today I have paid for myself. I have not been sponsored in any way from these companies. These are just products that I bought and enjoy. First of all, the raw coffee beans. I'll show you more of that in detail a little bit later. This is green Sumatra Mandling coffee beans, and that's a Mago Maga coffee roaster at home. Can roast up to 300 grams, and I've bought myself a DeLonghi automatic coffee machine. Right, now to the unboxing. Now I've literally not opened this box at all, so I'm going to go through the process with you and show you what it looks like as I open it. Lift that off. Inside is the box, so we've got to open some more. I think I'll fast forward this bit so that you don't have to sit there for minutes on end watching me take the thing out the box. So I won't be doing commentary while the machine is fast forwarding. Here we go. I just had to stop there for a second because I was trying to figure out how to get it out the box easily. So what I'm going to do is to slit the tape on the bottom as well, so it's extremely well packed and tight inside. So definitely. Yeah. There you go. Right, next step is to get all this plastic off. Find the instructions shortly. Not sure what that bit's for yet. There's usually bits of stuff like bits of tape just to hold things together in transport, so take all them off. Right, next step, instructions. I always try and read the instructions just to make sure there's nothing I've missed. Not sure what that's for. It's to test the hardness of the water. And these instructions, or most instructions, there's usually a quick start guide, which is what this is. There you go. There's my instructions. Unboxing. Oh, looks like I did it the right way by taking the outer box off. It's telling me to plug it in first, but I'm going to just double check to make sure there's no other bits of tape left on, like this bit here. Doesn't actually tell you to take them off. How strange. Right, next. I decided I'm actually going to follow the instructions in the quick start guide. But first, I've got another box to unbox. Let's see what's in there. the descaling kit. And this is the holder for the milk. Sorry about the crackling noise. That's where the milk goes, gets attached to the machine and creates the froth for your coffees. Nice. And this one I believe is a water filter. Yeah, there you go. That's the water filter. Right, first job, it says to plug it in. So let's do that. Right, that's plugged in now, ready to go on to the next step. I have moved it over just a little bit here so that the plug reaches the socket. Next job, it wants me to fill up the water tank, which is this bit here. So what I want to do is fill up from the tap. Whoops, I haven't really got an appropriate tray, so I'm just going to use a pot for now. So let's put that under there, and I've got a flashy light there. I don't know if you can see it on top there. The one that says ×2. It's asking me to push that button there, so I'll put the camera down again. Oh, that's noisy. I think it's thinking about it, and it should do that. There you go. I think what it's doing now is just cleaning out all the pipe works so it's ready to go for when we make a coffee. I do believe that's finished for now. It's asked me to get the water filter, and on top there's like a little dial, and what you do is you turn that to today's date so that you know when to change it in a couple of months' time, I think it is. I need to take out the water tank. I did tip it up to get the air bubbles out of the filter, and so as we turn it back up that way, let's try that and see. There you go. That does look right, actually. There's something at the top here that holds it in position. And now I'll put that back in the machine. Right, pot goes back under the nozzles. Then I hold the ×2 button again for 5 seconds. And that brings up the symbol here, which is the clean button. So I've got to push that. Oh, I got it right. All I had to do was push the clean button again. Now it's just going through its cycle to fill up the filter so that it's got no air bubbles in it. That is that done now, the cleaning process that is. So now it wants me to test the water. So now I have to dunk it in the water. Gotta wait for 1 minute and see how many bars, looks like which ones turn red. Looks like I'm getting about 3, and that is, I believe, testing for the hardness of the water. So that setting now of 3 I need to put onto the machine. So I just put this back. So now I have to hold the ×2 button again for 5 seconds. As you can see here, I've got the coffee beans 1, 2, 3 and a scoop. I'm supposed to hold that for 5 seconds and then push the number 3. I think I've done that right. We'll soon find out. Before I can carry on with making my coffee, I need to roast my beans. So if I open up this bag, I need to measure out 300 grams of raw coffee beans. If I just take a small handful to show you, you can see they're very, very different to normal coffee beans. They have got a slightly green colour to them. That's raw coffee beans. You wouldn't want to eat those. They will taste quite unusual, let's say. Time to weigh out 300 grams of raw coffee beans. Right, bang on 300 grams. I've got to try and remember how to do this because it's been a while, let's say. So I know I've got to take this top off. If I just quickly show you a little bit about the coffee machine. This top, as you can see, I've actually used before. There's a little filter there, and believe it's called the kernels. I'll put the right name up on the screen if that's wrong. And it's like the skin of the coffee bean that gets collected in there while it's roasting. The makeup of the coffee machine, it's got an outer glass wall. I can try and take that off. You can see it's just a glass tube. And then there's an inner one. Now this gets extremely hot, which is why it's got the other one on the outside. It's a bit of a safety feature, I think, as well, and helps the circulation of the hot air. It's a hot air roaster. And now I'm just going to pour the coffee beans, raw coffee beans, into the roaster. Now, this is a fairly tricky bit because you've got to try and get the coffee beans in that hole there. And I've already missed with some of them. Let's try this. It might not look a lot there, but that's 300 grams, which is just over the size of a bag of coffee beans that you'd buy at the supermarket. These are going to be much better. Right, just got to put that on there, make sure that's all locked up, ready to go. There is something called a first crack and a second crack. The only thing I can describe it as similar to is when popcorn goes off. You can hear that cracking sound of the popcorn. The same sort of thing happens with coffee, except it doesn't explode. That's just like the surface of the coffee bean just splitting slightly as it gets roasted. And you should be able to see, as I pan up, that the coffee beans are starting to change colour now as they get roasted. Still a few minutes to go. I'll show you what that looks like towards the end. As you can see, it's getting quite high now, 185. Got to go all the way up to 210. I can just start hearing the first crack, as they call it, and it's getting nice and dark roast now. I do prefer a dark roast. And there we have what I believe is the second crack. See, temperature's just around about the 200 mark, and the colour of the coffee beans is perfect for me. What will happen next is when it gets to 210, the cooling phase will kick in. The heat will turn off, and we'll just cool it down to around about 50 degrees centigrade and be ready to take out the machine then. Well, the cooling phase has now kicked in, the fans are on, the heat is off. So you'll see that temperature drop rapidly now. And as you can see, coffee beans, nice chocolate colour. As you can see, the temperature's back down now, telling me it's finished. So now I need to take the beans out of the machine. Alright, that's now done. And I have to get the beans out, and there's a little slot at the side here. Got myself a bowl ready. Undo the safety clip. You see some of them come out, but to make it leave quicker, as you can see, absolutely gorgeous. And there looks a lot more in there than when I put them in as raw. That's because as they roast, they actually expand a little bit, which is why it looks a lot more than it was before. Same number of beans. As you can see, I put them back in the bowl just to give you an idea of how much weight loss there is. Start with 300 grams, and because of the heating and roasting, it's back down to 243 grams. Now, according to the manual, I'm supposed to wait 3 to 7 days before I can actually grind any of these beans to drink. But I'm going to ignore that, and I'm just going to grind some for at least 1 cup for today because I miss my coffee. I'm going to be putting my beans in this slot at the back there. But before I do that, I just want to quickly show you the top of the roaster. If I can do that while it's still hot. As you might be able to see, some beans in there, which I will take at some stage, but there's lots of the kernels from the beans in the top. That's where it collects so it doesn't burn. I'm about to put some coffee beans into the machine. I'm only going to put a handful in there, really, just enough to make myself a cup. As you can see, I've already put my frother or milk frother on the machine. I've got myself these nice clear thermal glass cups, keeps the drink nice and warm. There's this thing here which I was supposed to pull down. As you can see, it's working now. Woohoo! And once that's done brewing, the milk should kick in. I get myself a cappuccino. Did wonder if it was going to do anything then. Okay, now it's asking me to clean it, so then put the camera down, take my coffee out and give that a good clean. And what that was doing then was just cleaning the milk frother, which you always want to do, of course. What I'm going to do now is take that milk off, put it in the fridge, ready for later. Here is my first cappuccino from my new coffee machine. Oh yeah, that's better. So much better than instant coffee. Enjoy. Now, some of the things I like about this coffee machine down here is it makes like 4 different kinds of coffee, from an espresso to cappuccino, an Americano, but it also do things like hot chocolate. So I just warm the milk up, put the chocolate powder in. It'll do an iced coffee as well. Just put some ice in a cup, brew the coffee, and there you go, iced coffee. It'll also do tea. Just need your tea bags, do the hot water. All I've got left to do now is just do a little bit of cleaning up on the coffee machine, and I'm also going to strip down the coffee roaster, clean that out so it's ready for next time. I'll show you a little bit of that as I go along. One of the most important things is to make sure you've got it cooled down first before you start cleaning it, so you don't burn yourself. I'll just take that top off. I'm just checking in there to make sure there's nothing left in there, no beans left. So don't need to do too much there apart from wipe all the dust off. Let's unplug it first. That would make sense. So I'm really just getting all the dust off, that sort of thing. That's still quite warm, but it's not too hot. Let's get a dry cloth of some sort. Close up my chute. Lock that off, otherwise it won't work next time. And then just close that. That's that done. Nice and straightforward. This is the messy bit. Just unlock that top bit, get the worst of the dust off. Now this bit. There's quite a few beans left in here, so as long as they roasted, I'm actually going to obviously use them. Seems such a waste if you don't. So hopefully you can see that. It's just bits of the skin from the coffee beans. That we're just going to throw away. And that's ready for next time. Now just a final word before I go and sit down and enjoy my fresh brewed coffee with fresh roasted beans. The machines you've seen today, all the equipment and even the coffee beans, you can buy all of that online. I haven't got any links to them, so I'm not sure I'm allowed to do that for a start. But you've seen what the products are, so you're welcome to search for yourself online. As far as storing the roasted coffee beans, get yourself an airtight container and store them in there. Roast 150 to 300 grams at a time, and then you will always have fresh coffee beans. You don't want them to be stored too long. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content. I love hearing your thoughts, so be sure to leave a comment down below. I read and reply to as many as I can.